Yeah. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Willie Mickle out here, down here, around here, about to do my first interview. And today's guest is the CEO and president of Vertical Elements Music Group. He is the founder and team captain of Speed and Style Racing Team, Circle representative, current secretary for Swerve Riders, none other than the South Carolina ambassador himself, Will E. Millions. And today we right here at Club Millions. He's inside waiting on us. So let's go ahead and go in. Hey, what's up? Welcome to Club Millions. All right. Thanks, Will. I appreciate you accepting the invitation to do the interview. Now, before we get started, let's talk a little bit about our location. We're in Club Millions. Tell me more about it. Okay, so I'll give y'all a quick look around before we get started. Just got a few decorations around, nothing too serious, because this is just a hangout spot. But yeah, I had a few things behind the flag. Got my favorite drinking jersey. The Hill, VMG. The Speed and Style wall right here. Memories. Music wall right here. I guess that's really what we're here for. There's some old equipment, some old headphones. Good music was recorded on that and that. Beso, J Juice, Shawty J, shout out. Brother-in-law, 4 Block, you know what I'm saying? Tank Mar, B-Lord, 50 Cent, The Baby, Terrence Howard. Me, some of my projects. Microphone was actually donated by my man Tank Mar down the street. Basically bought that and donated that to VMG. So shout out Tank Mar. What else we got? Oh, some of my other projects. Got my brother. My brother wrote a book, so that's that. You know what I'm saying? The audio version of that, Slide 68. Get closer. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Vaughn Mickle. Like I say, more decorations, man. Another couple projects. Did that put on mix where I basically, you know what I'm saying, remixed the Jeezy joint, and that was a few years ago where it was 10,000. Now it's over 20,000 SoundCloud plays on that one song. So, shout out Jeezy and shout out Millions. Shit, shout out myself. So anyway, let's go ahead and get back into this interview. All right, first question. Who is Willie Millions? Tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from. Who is Willie Millions? Regular cat, man. Average guy from Camden, South Carolina. Carolina born, Carolina bred. 803 till I die. Circle representative. Vertical Elements, VMG. Speed and Style. Swerve Riders. Like I say, born in Camden, man, and it's a real small city. My city's so small that we don't even have a shopping mall. Like, the biggest place to go shopping is Walmart, you know what I'm saying? So, but really, like, I grew up in the country, like, outside the city limits. Shit, where I stay now is outside the city limits, but it's a lot closer. But yeah, grew up in the 80s baby. I went to Midway and North Central, 2 schools, you know what I'm saying? But, when I growing up in Shepherd Acres Trailer Park, man, I thought we was middle class, like, you know what I'm saying? Cause both my parents worked, and then they was there, like, moms and pops both worked. They had cars, and, we had some things. But yeah, I thought we was middle class. It took me till I was grown to, you know, realize we was poor. But you know, Willie Million, just regular cat, man. I won't say that I'm the best at everything that I do, even rapping or whatever. But I'm damn good at it, you know. But I got so many different things that I'm good at. It's kind of like it's a gift and a curse in itself. Like my mind be in so many different places, and I can't focus on one thing long enough. You know what I mean? That's kind of why my music career ain't really took off, because I don't really apply a lot of pressure to my music. Like, I feel like if I do a song and I feel like it's a good song and people hear it and they feel like it's a good song, it's going to go. But unfortunately, that's not the case. But fortunately for me, you know, music has just been a release, more of a hobby, a passion, but still a hobby. Like, I never really worried about getting paid from it, you know what I'm saying? And subsequently, that's why I never really put a whole lot of money in it. So, again, gift and the curse is good and bad, but, you know, we're going to see where it's at right now. Like, I'm trying to put a little bit more energy and focus towards this music thing right now, see where it's going. So, that's Willie Millions. So, after I graduated high school, you know, joined the Air Force. Did that for about 10 years, give or take. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother, we could talk about that later. There may be another interview or something like that, but yeah, Air Force, got that tatted too, you know what I mean? But got out, and I done did a whole bunch of jobs. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, I done did so many different things, you know what I'm saying? So right now, I feel like it's a time where I can go ahead and focus and push this music, because I done did everything else, like truck driving and office work, working in convenience stores and stocking and, you know, all kind of stuff. I sold dope. I sold dope for like 2 days. Back in the, like, was that even 2000? Was that 99? Probably 98, right? 98 or 99, something like that. Can't remember. But I sold dope for like maybe 3 days. And I spent like $20, right? And got, like, you know, the double up, 40 or something like that. And then, like, right after that, well, the only reason I started doing it is because it wasn't necessarily the people that I was hanging around. It was the places I was. Because everybody that I hung around didn't sell dope, but I really, you know what I mean? I never really was a trap guy like that, you know what I'm saying? Never. Not, you know what I mean? Like, I smoked my weed or whatever, but I never really hustled like that. Nobody can, you know, tell you, I remember he used to sell me pounds. Like, nah, I'm about to sell you a little dub or something, you know what I mean? But that was from my personal set, you know what I mean? But what I was saying, yeah, like, so I had got me a little bit of dope, right? And I'm like 16, 17, a little bit of dope. And the only reason I got it is because, like I was saying earlier, I thought I was middle class and my parents had cars, so when I was 16, I was able to drive, you know, get my license and be around places. And I'm clean, fresh, like the dope boys is on the block. But really all I did was came to hang, you know what I mean? The girls is around and, you know what I'm saying? We're going to smoke a little something, might sneak a drink in or whatever. But I wasn't there to, like, make no money. I had something to spend, you know? But, so yeah. So I kept popping up different places. I'm coming around and looking fresh and hanging around some of these guys that did sell dope, I guess. And some of the crackhead shit, they asking me like, yo, what's up, man? You got something? You got? No, man, I don't sell dope. I don't sell dope. When that happened, like, a couple of times, I pull up and somebody, hey, yo, Hey, yo, man. And it's an older cat that I'm like, what do you want from me? Like, you about to ask me for some change or something? You know what I mean? Like, want some crack? Like, I'm like, nah, I don't got nothing but this weed right here. But I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So I told my homeboy about it. I told him, I was like, yo, man, these people keep coming up to me like, what the fuck I look like? And they was like, shit, look at you, nigga. You look like you sell dope. And look in the mirror. Man in the mirror. Yeah, you're right. So shit, you might as well capitalize on it, right? Fuck it. Double me up then. Let me get down. And I don't remember which one of the guys that, it might have been both of them, but both of them ended up going to jail, right? And it wasn't just no weekend shit. Like, they got some joints. And like months and months and years, and you know what I mean? Like, it was long, way longer than what I could deal with. Like, who wants to go to jail, right? You know what I mean? No, well, not me. You know what I mean? So, when I seen what happened to them, 3 days, threw my dope away. Strictly smoking weed. And, you know, I ain't never touched it since. All right. Second question. Where did the name come from? Well, the name came from actually being in the Air Force. Like, when I was in the Air Force, we used to rap in the dorms. Like, Air Force had dorms versus Army barracks. You know what I'm saying? So we had our own dorm rooms. Like, it was almost like a college setup, or almost like a hotel kind of setup. Co-ed, you know what I mean? So in my room, I didn't have a computer, but I had a stereo that I still have to this day from 2000. I bought that shit in November 2000, and I still have it to this day. It still works. Don't work perfect. All the things don't work, but it still plays music. I use it all the time. It's a Iowa 3-disc changer with a CD burner on that bitch, with a 2-disc tape joint with the record. Yo, I used to record from, I could play. First of all, I could burn CDs. Like, I was 2000. I'm burning CDs. I could only burn one at a time, and you had to play it while you was burning it. You know what I'm saying? But I used to turn the volume down, pop a CD in, burn that whole shit, you know what I'm saying, overnight or while, you know, whenever. Just turn the volume down, burn it, and then, you know, I got everything. Everything. I was having everything. But anyway, so I was getting beats. Like, you know, back then, some of the tapes, some of the singles was coming with instrumentals. Then we messed around and found the MTV Music Generator on PlayStation. It was on PlayStation. MTV Music Generator, man. And before this, we was like rapping or whatever on whatever beats that we could find. We rapping over people's tracks and shit. But then me and my guys started making our own beats. Shout out Charles Murray, because he had told me about the game first, and then I went to the mall in Oklahoma City. I was stationed out there in Enid, man. Vance Air Force Base, Enid, Oklahoma. We were stationed out there. My boy Charles, he said, he told me, because his little brother, rap. I don't know if he still do. I think his name was M1, right? Was it? Out of Miami. But anyway, he told me about this game where you can make beats. I'm word shit. So one day I happened to find it, and I think I found the first one first, like the Music Generator 1. But then they had a Music Generator 2 with Funk Flex on the joint. Like, man, we started making our own beats and rapping. Shit was dope. So say that to say the name, all right? So me, Chuck Murray, my man Damien Roots, man, countless Marcus Carter, Nate. What's Nate's last name? Nate Butler. Man, like all my guys, man. Love y'all niggas too. Salute. That's a regular ass salute. But yeah. So we was rapping, man, and my nigga Dame, I think it was Damon. It was like, yo, you know, everybody used to go by the last names or whatever. So he was like, we freestyling and drinking and shit, and he was like, yo, my nigga Willie, you know what I'm saying? And kept on going on whoop. It happened to be years later before I was actually took the name Millions. But I remember him saying that shit, and it just kind of, you know what I mean, it kind of stuck a little bit. Because I was strike one when, matter of fact, well, yeah, I was strike one. I'll leave the rest for another time. But, so, yeah. Fast forward a couple of years, me and Dame is actually in Delaware together now at Dover. You know what I'm saying? And still on the same shit, still rapping, freestyling. I did get him back to my crib, I think once or twice, to you know what I mean, do a little session, man. And so that was dope. And I just seen my nigga recently too, so shout out again, Dame. But yeah, so Willie Millie, that whole thing, still going by the last name at work and whatever. And by this time, I'm starting to make a little bit of money, you know, not a whole lot, because again, like I said, we're in the Air Force. I'm starting to make a little bit of money and buy some stuff. And I started buying a lot. Well, I was always into flashy things, but I started getting a little flashier, buying like chrome rims and, you know what I'm saying, more jewelry, and putting, like, I really got into the car game. But it like started, it was the stunting time. And that's Mac and fucking Randall. They taught a nigga how to stunt, or at least introduced me to it. You know what I'm saying? But so started getting rims and shit like that, and I remember I had some rims on the it was either on my Sebring or it might have been on my ex-old lady Mustang, drop top Mustang, and somebody said something about looking like $1 million, or look, you know what I mean? But then I started looking into stuff like money, money decorated, coated things, you know what I'm saying, with money dollar signs on it, and you know what I mean. I'm still strike one. I'm using the dollar sign for the S, but I'm not really feeling that anymore. Around in between same old brand new and as it is, Willie Millions came about. So that's between same old brand new was the first joint. As it is came out in that's from what, like 02 maybe to like 06, 07 I think this is when I printed this out. So the 5-year span in between there, the last part of it, probably the last 2 years of that 5-year, that's when Millions started to emerge from that. And this one day I just Willie Millions, like, you know what I mean? And then it's like the name about money because the game about money, but it really ain't that, you know what I'm saying? The shit just flows to me. And you know, I do like shiny things, and I do like spending money and having things. So, you know, it goes together. But, you know, money is definitely not the head of my life, because anybody who know me know, and they'll tell you that I give my last, you know what I'm saying? I'll be down, and I'm real enough to tell you when I'm broke, like, shit, like a nigga still be not having everything he want, you know, not all of it broke. Like I make it a point to at least keep $1 in my wallet. So even if I tell you I'm broke, nigga, I still got at least $1, believe that. And that go all the way back to high school. and that's a whole nother story too. But that's in a in a big old nutshell. That's where the name came from, man. Willie Millions, and you know, because my name is Will E, and you know what I'm saying. Let's put it together, right? Because you know my name is Willie. My middle name starts with an E, and you know my last name starts with an M, Willie Mickle. So I just kind of put it all together, man. You know, and you get, of course, you get influenced by Weezy F Baby. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm Willie Millions. Also influenced by you seen the movie Fresh, right? Y'all remember Chuck E? And you can't call me Chucky no more. You can call me Chuck E. So even like before then, because I remember when the movie came out. You know what I'm saying? I'm in like 6th or 7th grade when Fresh came out. So like I've been Will E. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling people that for a long time. But yeah, I put it all together, man. I just put it all together, and boom, Willie Millions. Oh yeah, also Dougie Fresh. Yeah, Dougie Fresh. I almost forgot about that one. Okay, so how long you been rapping, doing music? Like, when did you start? How long have I been rapping? Officially, almost 22 years. Like, so what was your first song? I recorded my first song in November, maybe October or November of 2000. On that same Iowa stereo that I bought from the BX. I bought it, matter of fact, I used my AFES card, right? The PX credit card joint. The Star card. Put it on my Star card, right? That shit was nothing but like, I don't know, it was kind of expensive back then. I think it was $300 then. And then 2000 when I bought it. And the only reason I bought it is because it had a microphone jack on it. So I bought a microphone right there from the BX, right? You know what I'm saying? Took that shit across the street and set up. My first song that I recorded was one that I had wrote the previous year in '99 when I started dating this chick. I ain't even gonna say her name, but I started dating this female, and I wrote a song about it basically, and that was my first song that I recorded. It's called that's when I was Strike One back then, and it's called One's Story, like Strike One's story. And I used I had got the Notorious B.I.G. We're Always Love Big Papa single, and that joint had the instrumental on it. I don't know if y'all remember that, but yeah, it did. And so I used that one to record, because initially I had Nas's Project Windows beat in my head, but this is year 2000. I don't know nothing really about music at all. I don't play the instruments, you know. I don't know nothing about music recording, other than what my cousin showed me a long time ago. My cousin Corey, shout out to Corey, because he always kept a big interest spark in music and recording. Like, he gonna produce something big one day, y'all gonna see. Yeah, he showed me how to push play and, you know, and record and stop and shit like that on different players. So that's really the only training that I had in music production. Plug the microphone in the thing, put the CD or the tape, whatever I had for the beat, and hit record. Then I had to spit it all on one take. That's why the thing didn't have the hook that I wanted. But I had to spit it all on one take, because I wasn't no punching in on no, you know what I mean? I hit the record button, I gotta go. I gotta press play on the beat and the record at the same time, and then and you know the whole song one take like that, and did that a couple times and got the one that I liked, and boom boom boom. That was the first. Who are some of your influences? Mainly like growing up, because my brothers, man, like my brothers, Vaughn and Trent, they 9 and 11 years older than me, so them being born in the 70s, you know, right when rap and hip hop was really born, you know what I'm saying, and being created, they was in the midst of that. Not in the midst of that, but they was. What's up, son?
What's up? This one is nothing.
Son in the building, y'all. But yeah. My brothers was my biggest influence in the music, like coming up, because again, like I said, they was born in it. So like in the 80s, when I started, when I'm old enough to remember hearing music, it's because they playing it and my mama get mad. You know what I'm saying? Like Big Daddy Kane. All right, son.
Yeah, but look, I'll be okay.
Okay. So like yeah, like Big Daddy Kane, man, Dougie Fresh, Special Ed, you know, all those cats like that, like back in the 80s, that we used to listen to. Like again, when I thought that we was middle class, because we had a VCR, and like my brothers used to order tapes, VHS tapes, from wherever the hell they used to order them from, and so like we watch them videos over and over. Like that's why I think I seen Tupac for the first time on the Keep Your Head Up, or the Brenda's Got a Baby joint. Then it was Keep Your Head Up, and you know everything else after that. We had cable. You know what I'm saying? So we was able to watch Yo MTV Raps, like with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get what I was watching back then, the Fat Boys, Run DMC and shit like that. Like those was my influences coming up. What's your biggest song? My biggest song is probably Convoy Star from Millions Over Beats. No, that's from As It Is. That's from the As It Is mixtape from the time I was in the desert, man. And I say that that's the biggest song because I wrote it. I wrote it while we was in training before we actually went, before we got deployed. And I wrote the song. That's when I hooked up with my guy who helped me record it. Shout out Coyote Solo, Artemius Silas. If anybody sees Sal, man, tell Sal to holler at me, bruh. Where you at, my G? Like, I need you out here, Coyote. But anyway, yeah. So I met him. Like he was my squad leader or whatever. And yeah. So he seen me writing or something like that one day. What you doing? And I let him hear, you know, the old joint. He was like, okay, that's kind of dope, man. I record too. And then he let me hear some shit and clicked up, you know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, so I recorded that song when we got in Kuwait. And right at the MWR, Zone 6. And so I ended up performing it at the talent show, February 2007. MWR talent show. I believe it was some Army cats running that joint. And Zone 1, right? Zone 1 at the, it wasn't at the MWR, it was at another little tent off on the side or whatever. But that was my first time performing, like rapping in a room full of people that was all looking at me. Like, before that, I'd have rapped in a room full of people. You know, we all freestyling or whatever and just having a good time. Or it was the time I was at a club and they was letting different people, well, they was letting all of us really come on stage and rap. But again, we in the club, so everybody was kind of just doing club shit. So when I was rapping, even though I had a tight verse that I had memorized, nobody really was paying attention to me. So this was the first time that I was on stage, everybody looking at me, and I'm rapping, and shit, I killed it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was dope. Like it was a talent show, so I ended up winning second place. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I won second place, and I won because the chick that won first place, she sang a gospel song. So that's a whole different category if you ask me. She sang a gospel song. It was another dude. It was some other singers. It was a poet or two, and then it was another rapper. And out of everybody, I was second. The girl who sang, she sang good, you know, and then I was second, so I won. Boom, bam. So that's my biggest song. My second biggest song is probably Gorilla Grind.
Personal thing.
That I did, man, and that's one of my brothers. Like I did for my brother. He came up with the whole Gorilla Grind mode, and the whole movement. So so I did a song basically to help push and get behind that, man. Perform that out in the yard for his birthday, and he had a big block party, man. Brought the Lamborghini out, you know what I'm saying? The black joint with the Italian stripe on it. Yeah, doors up, had my son in there. You know what I'm saying?
Great video.
Yeah. So that was dope. So that was probably my biggest song. Matter of fact, we just performed that at what was that background Carolina Cup weekend. And bro actually hit the stage with me, and you know what I'm saying, performed that for our people. So that was pretty cool. So that'd be probably my second biggest song. The third one, probably that Put On, like that Jeezy joint, man. Like for anybody who hasn't heard my music, you got to go back and listen to what I do and how I do it. But it's basically the same thing that several artists do now. Lil Wayne probably was the one who really got popular off of doing it, but or maybe even 50 Cent, from, like, you know, whatever. But like, just rapping over other people's beats, man. You know, using your own style and imagination, freestyling, if you will, over other people's beats. You know, and the popular ones. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what I did and what I've been doing. That's millions over beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is coming. So besides that, probably Pour Up, and my personal theme song, you know, Willie Millions, WEM with the dollar sign. Pour Up, I got my nephew on that joint, Country Quan, and I got my man Trill C. And we cut that in here. Matter of fact, I cut both of those tracks in here. One of them with that microphone, one without. But we cut those in here, and they was able to get cleared and everything. And so they on all the streaming website, all your streaming platforms right now. Pour Up and Willie Millions by Willie Millions. So yeah, those are two of my big ones. What is that? Five of the big ones. How many projects do you have? As far as how many projects I got? 6, right? Because it's As It Is, which is the first project that I recorded when I was in Oklahoma, Advanced Air Force Base. Like, I did all them tracks in my dorm room. I did I want to say maybe 5, at least 5, because it's one story. I know Same Old Brand New. Cause that's what Same Old Brand New. Did I say that was the name of the joint? Same Old Brand New. That's the name of the first joint. But yeah, so that's that song. Is One Story, Same Old Brand New. It's at least one more that I can think of, and then I put a song on there with the girl that I was dating at the time. Her and her sister did a song too. So that was like probably like the original Millions of the Beats, because I took that song, played it, and recorded my verse over the rest of the beat that they had left on that song, and then put it on my CD. You know what I'm saying? Burned up them CDs and sent them out. It didn't have a name on it at that time. It probably just said Strike One. You know what I'm saying? It might have even been blank or whatever. So if anybody got those though, or if anybody was around me in 2000, 2001, when I was giving out those CDs, like my first CDs, y'all got those left? That is a jewel, man. Those are jewels. So if anybody got that, I forgot what all on it. So if anybody got that, let me know. Get back to me on that. Give me one, give me a copy of it. You know what I'm saying? I autograph, whatever, however you want to do it. I need that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got 6 projects. So it's it's Same Old Brand New first. That's the first one. Then after came back from the desert, you know, in the Air Force, As It Is mixtape. In between that, I did a couple of songs with some cats, man, and the ones that I have, I put on my mixtape, but they also did a couple, you know, ones and whatever. And so I took all of ours and put them on one joint, and that was probably about 7 or 8 songs, man. And I called that the Hazardous Duty mixtape. But I ended up losing all of my data and all of my footage, so I don't have their songs anymore. But they had some, you know what I'm saying, some alright shit back in 06, man, that we recorded in the desert, you know, so that was pretty dope. Millions Over Beats came after I came back home, and you know what I'm saying, just kept at it, and like, all right, it's time for something else, and start hearing different beats or whatever. Millions Over Beats 2, 3, 4. I'm working on 5 right now, and I'm also working on the album. So how far away from South Carolina have you actually traveled to perform? How far away have I traveled to perform? Kuwait. We was in Kuwait and Iraq, you know what I'm saying, 06 and 07, so that's where I did my first show, international, you know what I'm saying, and like everybody, not everybody, but most of the people in my unit, and like I'm talking, let's just say a couple hundred people to be safe. Like I printed out CD after CD after CD after CD, and I was probably buying them by the 50 or maybe by the 100, you know what I'm saying? But I printed them and I printed them and I printed them and I printed them, and gave them away. Like every one of them. Somebody might have gave me $5 or $1, so like here's a thank you, a donation. I remember one guy, I can't remember what his name was, but he was like, yo, sign it for me. 06, 07. Yo, sign it for me, autograph for me. I know this was gonna be big one day. So if you, my man, I can't remember your name, but if you still got that, you know, salute. But yeah, I gave out like hundreds of them. So like that song, and maybe a couple of more or whatever, like those is international, and that's without the internet. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody even remotely remember Convoy Star, you know what I'm saying? Like that's there. I did that. Yeah, I love. They probably recorded the performance from the talent show. So I was like, cause I've seen footage from talent shows before that. So I'm like, yo, they got to have record this one, but I can't find no footage of anything around that time. But anyway, that's that. You know, I'd have been up and down the coast, basically, like. You know, I'm right here in South Carolina, so me and my people have been to the A. When I've been to Charlotte, you know, Columbia, of course. We home. We perform at home. I did a quick little thing in Florida one time, and I've been to Virginia as far as performances. Okay, so what was your latest performance? What have you done lately? My latest performance? Summer Jam with Iconic T, man, Iconic Events. That was a couple of, 2 or 3 Sundays ago. Shut it down, man. My shit was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a whole lot of people in the building. And so they really, like, the ones who was in there tried to act like they wasn't going to pay you no attention. I was doing my thing, so, and they, like, people wasn't paying no attention. I stood on a chair because they had no stage, so I stood on the chair. You know what I'm saying? And did my rap. Do you have any new music? Man, the new music, Super Millions, and that's over the Super Gremlin Kodak beat, you know what I mean? And that Lemon Pepper, Trying, you know what I'm saying? I killed that one too. So that's the latest things that I got. That's the latest things that I have let y'all hear, and anyway, you know what I'm saying? All right. And last but not least, what's next? I do got new music coming. Millions Over Beats 5 is coming soon. And then right after that, I'm gonna bust y'all in the head with the album. Willie Millions, Price Change. So thanks for doing the interview, homie. I gotta go. Me and my son got things to do. Holla at y'all.
I'm Willie Millions. Willie Millions. I'm Willie Millions. Willie Millions. I'm Willie Millions. Willie Millions. I'm Willie Millions.